In today's edition of 30 Minutes with Government, the Council of Ministers cabinet is now complete with the addition of newly appointed minister. Chief Inspector Ricardo Henson talks Carnival, police station gets customer service upgrade, and Destination St. Martin has new North American rep. All this and more ahead on 30 Minutes with Government. Stay tuned.
It's Carnival time again, and here are a few tips you need to remember.
Before entering your vehicle, check the front and rear seats for anyone that may be hiding there. Lock doors immediately after entering. Ask your neighbor to keep a watchful eye out for you. Drinking and driving is a danger to everyone. If you choose to drink, don't drive.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Police Force of St. Martin and the Department of Communication.
The Council of Ministers is now complete. On Tuesday, April 4th, 2017, newly appointed Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunication, Melissa Arendelle Doncher, joined her colleague ministers in her first Council of Ministers meeting. At the onset, Minister Arendelle Doncher co-signed her first national decree, which contained the so-called replacement scheme, which regulates which minister replaces another minister when he or she is unable to execute his or her responsibilities. The minister was sworn in by His Excellency Governor Eugene Holliday at his offices on April 4th in the presence of her fellow ministers.
On December 20th, 2016, a new team of ministers and the minister plenipotentiary were installed with responsibility for the governing of our island. Today, we are here to complete the team. Mrs. Melissa Arendelle Doncher, you are about to join that team. I therefore extend a special welcome to you and your family for this, your appointment and oath of office ceremony. Before administering the oath, I shall share a few brief words with you and the gathering here this morning. Mrs. Melissa Arendelle Doncher, you have been screened in keeping with the regulatory provisions, and your appointment decree has just been signed off by myself and the Prime Minister. As a result, there rests one legal requirement before you can take up the important responsibilities of Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunication. That is the legal obligation to take the oath of office of Minister of St. Martin. Accepting the function of Minister through the oath which you are about to take in a few moments is first a solemn expression of your commitment to perform your function with integrity. Second, it is your pledge of allegiance to the King and the Kingdom Charter. Third, it is your individual declaration to always uphold the Constitution of St. Martin. And finally, it is your pledge to always dedicate yourself to foster the well-being of the people of St. Martin. In that regard, you will be entrusted, and as such, there will rest on you individually as minister and jointly with your colleagues in the Council of Ministers, a great responsibility. Through your oath, you will be accepting the obligation to serve all the people of St. Martin. And in doing so, you have accepted to serve in challenging economic times. At a time when there is much to do and much debate about the state of and vision for our tourism-based economy. Your decisions on the use of the scarce means to meet the objectives of our country will have lasting influences on the lives of our people. Thus, as you deliberate on taking action on the matters that will come before you during your tenure, I recommend that you use the oath as a guide in the performance of your function in service of the general interests of St. Martin. And in doing so, develop opportunities to realize the aspirations of our people. And as such, I wish you wisdom and strength in the performance of your responsibilities as you seek to meet your constitutional responsibility to the people of St. Martin. In closing, I therefore invite you, Mrs. Melissa Arendelle Duncher, to take the oath of Minister of St. Martin.
Ik zweer verklaar dat ik middelijk nog onmiddellijk, onder welke naam of wat voorwendsel ook, in verband met het verkrijgen van mijn benoeming als minister aan iemand, wie hij ook zij, iets heb gegeven of beloofd, nog zal geven. Ik zweer beloof dat ik om iets hoegenaamd in deze betrekking te doen of te laten van niemand hoegenaamd enige belofte of enig geschenk aannemen zal, middelijk of onmiddellijk. Ik zweer beloof, trouw aan de koning en het statuut voor het koninkrijk, dat ik de staatsregeling van Sint Maarten steeds zal helpen onderhouden en het welzijn van Sint Maarten naar mijn vermogen zal voorstaan.
So surely help me, God Almighty.
Congratulations. To the people of St. Martin.
Minister Arendelle Duncher gave her introductory address at the Wednesday, April 5th press briefing, where she thanked Deputy Prime Minister Raphael Bousmond, who had served as interim TIAT minister, and she outlined her cabinet's objectives for her upcoming tenure.
Allow me first to express how honored and privileged I am to be standing here today, taking on the responsibilities in the service of the people of St. Martin. I would like to thank the Honorable Prime Minister for his patience and guidance in the process that has led us to this moment, and His Excellency, the Governor of St. Martin, Dr. Anders Eugene Holliday, for his due diligence and his encouraging words during yesterday's swearing-in ceremony. I would also like to thank the leader of the USP party, Honorable MP Franz Richardson, and the board of the USP for their faith and confidence to nominate me for this position. I am sure that we are all amazed at where the road following the parliamentary elections has led. But as they say, everything happens for a reason. I would also like to thank the Honorable Minister of Justice, Raphael Bousmond, who at times had carried the responsibilities for 3 ministries. I have had the pleasure of working with Minister Bousmond the past few months, and his advice and guidance has been invaluable. I think Minister Bousmond has done an incredible job, and I can only hope to match that level of energy and drive as I start my tenure. Lastly, I would like to thank 2 families. First, my immediate family, my husband and children, my father, my brother, and extended family for your love and support. The second family, the Cabinet of the Ministry of TIAT, who will be introduced to the public via press release later today. Together with Minister Bousmond, this cabinet has worked diligently over the past few months in executing the tasks of the ministry. Cabinet TIAT is a hard-working, dedicated group of public servants who have never stopped working since this government was sworn in. I would like to commend them, and I look forward to doing great things together as a dynamic team. I hold no misconceptions about the work ahead for St. Martin and what is expected of the Ministry of TIAT. Government recently released its government program, which is our roadmap, so to speak, for the next 4 years. In the next few days, I will elaborate more on TIAT's priorities moving forward. Many of our goals and objectives require that all ministries work together in order to meet those objectives. I have the utmost confidence that the Council of Ministers will continue to put St. Martin and the well-being of its people first. While the urgent and pending issues to be tackled are plenty and known publicly, the ministry will be very active in communicating with the public regarding its initiatives and plans. Contrary to some sentiments, I want to assure the people of St. Martin that crucial work in the tourism sector is being executed and our product is not collapsing as is perceived by others. I choose to give more credit to the people, civil servants, that they are in positions to continue to do the work for the tourism sector on behalf of government. We will counter negative narrative through hard work and facts. As leaders, we are entrusted with the unique opportunity to work together for a strong and secure future for St. Martin. We couldn't do this job without accepting and understanding that the people of St. Martin are constant reminders of why everything we do here matters. I stand here today with confidence as I see greatness in St. Martin. I feel it, I believe it, it's who we are. And that is how we approach governing, not with fear, but with confidence, with recognition of depths of our challenges and with confidence that together we can solve them. I thank you.
It's Carnival time again, and here are a few tips you need to remember.
Make use of a designated driver or public transportation. Make sure that you know where your kids are at all times and they are safe.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Police Force of St. Martin and the Department of Communication.
Carnival time is here once again. With the revelry and displays of culture that this time of the year brings, it is unfortunately also a time where we see a rise in certain types of crimes and public displays of disorder. The Department of Communications was able to sit down with Public Relations Officer for the St. Martin Police, Chief Inspector Ricardo Henson. We now turn to journalist Cedric Peterson for this story.
The Police Force of St. Martin has embarked on their annual awareness campaign on how to remain safe during the carnival season. Chief Inspector Ricardo Henson, in a sit-down interview with 30 Minutes with Government, spoke about the 3 A's of crime prevention, what you must remember if you are out for the evening, and the inspector highlighted the offenses as outlined on the transaction list of 2017.
And that's correct, Mr. Cedric. What it is, the police department, as you said in the past, have been having implementing a zero tolerance policy. This policy is to make sure that we keep everyone in line. Why? It is because some persons have a tendency to take this whole thing out of proportion, and we want to make sure that everything stay in order and that we would be able to control it. Now, when we say a zero tolerance policy, we would enforce anything that we approach. If there's a criminal behavior, criminal act going on, we would say, listen, stop it, bring it to an end now, otherwise these are the consequences. But if you persist, this is where we immediately go act and it's done swiftly, and we remove you from the environment, and we arrest you, we take you in, and you will have to follow the whole process.
Now, the zero tolerance policy comes with certain key areas or 3 sections that you, the police department pays attention to.
Yes.
Called the transaction list.
That's correct.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
The transaction list is really a list of criminal acts that is mentioned or that are mainly committed during especially carnival season. And these are the criminal acts that have been highlighted, that have been taken out and put on a list. And if one of these acts are committed during the carnival period, which means to say it has to be carnival related, what we would do, we would arrest you, bring you in, and you will be issued a fine. After you've seen the acting public prosecutor, you will be issued a fine at which you have to pay immediately. And if that cannot be done, if you don't have that cash with you, or you don't have a card that you can swipe, then you will be given the opportunity to call someone that would be able to assist you with that. And if that is not possible, it is completely up to the discretion of the public prosecutor. If he would put you in detention, and then you would be able to continue going through the process. It's up to the prosecutor. But if you can pay the fine, you will be released.
What are the 3 areas that you're looking
Well, we are mainly, it's a general police ordinance, what you call the drug laws, drug and weapon laws, and what you call the penal code. So these are the main areas that we are focusing on.
When one has to pay, what is the procedure?
Well, the procedure is that you would come in, or they would be brought in, you would be put and sit in front of the acting public prosecutor, who you would explain what happened. But the officer that brought you in would have to write up what the reason is, which one of these acts you have committed, and you would discuss that with the acting prosecutor, who will decide then if the act has indeed been committed. If it has been committed, he would say, well, okay, you will be given this fine, and then you will be released. And that's the process. Simple. It's immediate. It's justice one time.
A difficult question might be to ask would be the general police ordinance. If you look at it, what are the various areas or the laws?
There's so many, but there's a list, and if you ask me which one, then I'll be able to. There's a list of a lot of them.
Not following commands by a police officer.
Okay. Say, for instance, that the carnival parade is on, and there's a police officer standing at an intersection, and he tells you you cannot turn right. You have to go left. But you insist that you're making a turn to the right. And when you don't live up to that, then you would be given a fine for that. And you can be arrested, taken to the police station. It's just like if during the carnival season, if you fight, if you're in a fight, or you ill-treat someone. And this is how it goes.
Disturbing public order.
Oh my. Disturbing public order in the sense that if say, for instance, there's a group of people that's standing on the side of the street, and you are just causing disruption unnecessarily, and these persons are being what you call harassed or molested in some sense, and it's not fun anymore. It's just that you are causing disruption during the parade or while these persons are there unnecessarily. It has to be something that it has to remain orderly, and if you are disrupting it, then you can be arrested for that. Some of these tips are the 3 A's, which for crime prevention, and they are that people should be aware of their surroundings at all times. So when you go out, you make sure you know what's going on around you, to be alert of suspicious people and suspicious vehicles. So you would be in an area, you see people that are suspicious, and you think that they are suspicious or suspicious vehicles, you move from around that area and avoid dangerous situations. As a situation that you think is dangerous, you should try to avoid that. And there are many other things that we would say, like, for instance, if you're leaving your home in the evening, one of the main issues that we say, do not go on Facebook and announce to everyone when you are leaving to go to any event of carnival, because what you're doing is inviting unwanted guests to your home. So you don't do that. What you do, you make sure that you turn on lights around your house, so that even if that you're not home, that then maybe the neighbor stays home, they can keep an eye out for you. You can avoid carrying large amount of cash. This is something, during carnival season, we do have a lot of people, whether they live here or they come from abroad, but pickpocketing happens. They don't carry a large amount of cash. If you go to an ATM machine and you see suspicious people around or a suspicious vehicle, use another machine. You understand? What you can do, park your car in a well-lit area. Not all of us in Martin, all areas are well-lit, but if you can get a spot where you have lighting that your car, you can see your car from a distance, it's much more safer for you. Before entering your car, when you're coming from any of these events, make sure you walk around your car, look inside of the car, make sure that no one is hiding inside of your car and waiting until you come. If you reach home, make sure you have your keys in your hand before you reach to the door, so that when you reach to the door, you don't have to start to look for the keys. You already have them in. So there are many safety tips that we offer, and we would like, and we always publish them, and we would like the community to make use of that and take them into consideration.
Chief Inspector Ricardo Henson.
The building of the police station in Phillipsburg has undergone a bit of a facelift. Visitors to the station will now be greeted with a pleasant surprise upon walking in. Once again, here is Cedric Peterson.
The Police Corps of St. Martin on Tuesday, April 4th, had a soft opening of their customer service upgrade project. Inspector Henson, while speaking to 30 Minutes with Government, highlighted the various aspects of the project.
The customer service upgrade at the police station is a project that was spearheaded by the community police officer, Mr. Felix Richards, Inspector Felix Richards. And the idea came about from Ms. Lisa Brown from Nagico. It is because our police station has a number of years there, and the building has started to dilapidate a little bit, and they decided that they would take up this project and try to make it much more customer friendly. And they just, finances is something that is quite something we talk about on a regular basis. Nevertheless, Mr. Richards went out and he spoke to many partners in the community, such as the Indian Merchants Association. We had Nagico itself. We had many other partners in the community that he could approach and get the finances to finance this project. The project has been finalized. We did a soft opening in the presence of the Minister of Justice, the Member of Parliament, Kuki Bajlani, and members of the Indian Merchant Association. We had also people from the Chamber of Commerce. And what they did inside of the police station at the entrance, when you enter, they completely repainted. We put in a new ceiling. What we did, we installed 2 booths where instead of going and speaking at the front desk, and everyone that is sitting in a police station can hear what your problem is, we make these booths specially that these persons can go in and express to the officer what their problems is, and it's more done in a much more private environment, and it's much more friendly. The benches has been redone. It was completely wooden benches. Now they are soft cushion benches. We have an area where you can come to a machine and buy a soda, buy a snack. There's a table up front. There's a whole list of all our community police officers, that in case you want to know who's your community police officer, you can go to the board and you can see it. And there's a television, and on this TV, what we are planning to do is to continuously give the community persons that are there information regarding what the police is doing, upcoming events, and so on. So we'll keep informing them, and they at the same time, when this is not on, they can watch the news and keep themselves informed while they are waiting. It's really done nice. It's a great job. The Minister of Justice and also the Chief of Police commended Mr. Richards for a job well done. It's a really good job, and we continue. That's just the first phase. Now there's a second and a third phase in which it's on a much larger scale. And Mr. Richards already has been speaking to external partners to have them come in and look at the situation. What we want to do is we want to paint the building, and most of the material that will be used is material that will be donated, and many other partners have volunteered their time to help to paint the building. But as I said, it's a second phase. It has to be written up. The report has to be written on what all is going to be done. So we are looking forward to that. And then there's a third phase. And there's a third phase. I don't want to go into that too right now, but there's a third phase. And by the time we are finished, we wanted to do the opening before the carnival season, so that people can come in. When they come to the police station, it's very, very customer friendly.
Time again, and here are a few tips you need to remember.
If you're out for the evening, turn on lights, rate your television, lock all doors and windows well. Don't display items where they can be seen from the outside. Park your car in a well-lit area and make sure all windows and doors are locked.
This public service announcement was brought to you by the Police Force of St. Martin and the Department of Communication.
Destination St. Martin has a new marketing representative for the North American market. Here now with further details is journalist Cedric Peterson.
Marketing firm Spring O'Brien is the new North American marketing firm for Destination St. Martin. Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Melissa Arendelle Duncher, said this became official as of April 1, 2017. Spring O'Brien specializes in travel and hospitality communications and is known to the marketplace for its strategic thinking and creative programs and campaigns. The firm will work closely with the St. Martin Tourist Bureau to increase the awareness of the destination and continue to encourage new and repeat visitors to St. Martin. Spring O'Brien has been tasked to increase visitor arrivals not only from traditional source markets, but target more of the key cities in the southeastern area, as well as the Midwest and East Coast. Spring O'Brien has also been tasked with targeting more influential and upscale visitors to the destination, hence increasing the value of visitor spending. The minister said government is looking forward to involving all industry partners and Spring O'Brien in developing new strategies on how to best position St. Martin for the future in an ever-growing and competitive tourism market.
That brings us to the end of this edition of 30 Minutes with Government. For video on demand, be sure to visit the official website of the Government of St. Martin at stmartingov.org. My name is Giselle Misudan York, and on behalf of all of us here at the Department of Communication, we'll see you next time.